Hi everyone, Jacob here. Happy Sunday. Today, the topic that we're going to be discussing is stigma and mental illness, and particularly the stigma associated around asking for help. So stigma and mental illness is essentially being seen as different or being treated negatively or being discriminated against because of a mental health concern that you might face. And this really is not fair to the people who are being discriminated against, and it makes a lot of barriers in trying to ask for help and to talk about mental health openly because people are scared of being judged because society is saying that these things are not normal and that this is something to be ashamed of. And really, the more that we can talk about mental health, the more that we can get this conversation going, the more that people can actually get the help that they need and the help that they deserve. So talking about stigma and challenging stigma and sharing personal stories is ways that we can combat the stigma around mental illness. From my own personal experience, I've seen a lot of stigma around asking for help. Typically, people might not think that what they're going through is like enough to go see a professional, and that, oh, my problems aren't as big as someone else's, or I don't want to talk about this because then people are going to treat me differently, or I don't want to put myself out there because I don't know what that person or what that professional is going to think of me. And even having prejudice towards yourself, being like, oh, I don't want to label myself with this or talk about it because then I'm going to judge myself differently. And this is all because of stigma in society, and society telling us that it's not okay to be talking about mental health, and that's something that we definitely need to break. So I know for me, when I went to go see a counselor, I was really nervous to start because I was like, okay, what's this person gonna be like? And are they gonna judge me? How do they act? Do they seem like they'd be someone that I could relate to? And those are all things that can also serve as a barrier, like in terms of stigma. And it's like kind of you talking yourself out of getting the help that you need. And it was getting myself out of the help that I needed. So when I found my counselor, I was first like really nervous in the beginning, being like, oh, like I don't know what this person's gonna be like. But then once I met her, she was super, super cool, and I could really just open up about what I was feeling, what I was going through, and I could be open and honest. So later on this video, actually like the next section, what we're gonna be doing is going to meet the counselor in residence who, as I talked about before my last video, her name's Heather, and she's awesome, and she's super relatable and really cool. And I wanted you as like my audience to see who she is, because if you live here on residence, she's a resource that you can contact. And I wanted you to see that she's not scary, and she's super relatable and super cool, and is here to support you. So that's where we're gonna head right now. Is we're gonna head over to her. Heather,
hi. Hi everyone.
So, Heather, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So, my name is Heather. I'm the counselor in residence here at UTM. My background's as a social worker, but I actually used to be a resident student and a Don on the St. George campus. So, I totally get what it's all about living in res and working here as a Don. So, yeah, I'm super excited to now be the counselor here in res at UTM.
So, Heather, explain to us what you do for students here on residence.
Yeah, so I do lots of different things, but my biggest job is to be a counselor. So I usually see students one-on-one, although sometimes I see them with their partners or with their family members or with their friends, and we talk about lots of different things. So the special thing about my job is that everything's confidential, so I can't tell their Don or their friends or their family what we talk about. There are some limits to that, but for the most part, everything stays just between us. So I see students for things like anxiety, worrying about school, worrying about their friends, their family relationships, feeling depressed, feeling anxious, worrying about the future, lots of different things, transitioning here to UTM. And so really I just spend time listening and trying to support them in addressing some of those issues.
Earlier in this video, I talked about how there is a lot of stigma around asking for help and how it can be really intimidating for people to go see a counselor, go see a professional to discuss what they're going through. How do you see stigma around asking for help?
Yeah, I hear that a lot from students. I hear a lot that students are maybe in upper years and they felt that they wanted to see a counselor in first year, but really were worried about what that would mean or what that would look like, or if their friends or family would find out. And so often they'll wait until second or third or fourth year when really they could have benefited from seeing someone earlier. And so I think it holds people back often from asking for help. I think sometimes that comes from people's families, from stigma that they see in the media, online, or in the news, or just from a misunderstanding of what counseling is. It doesn't mean that you're crazy or that you aren't well. It just means that you need someone to talk to and just to get some extra help. So I do hear a lot from students, and it takes a lot of bravery to reach out for counseling. So I always try to validate that when I meet with people, because it takes a lot to come talk to a stranger about how you're feeling.
What are some ways that students can get into contact with you?
So probably the easiest way is just to contact me through the web form. So there's a link below, Jacob's going to put it, and that is just a secure, confidential web form directly to me, and you can fill it out 24/7 any time of the day or night, and I'll get in touch with you as soon as possible to book an appointment. That's probably the easiest way. You also can go to the HCC and just walk in there or call, and they'll also can get you in touch with me and book an appointment to come see me. So either through the HCC or online, whatever's easiest.
So this wraps up the video. I just wanted to thank you so much, Heather, for being a part of it.
Oh, you're so sweet, Jacob. Anytime.
So for everyone who's watching, please comment on the videos, like the videos, share the videos, and take a part in this conversation about mental health. If you need any help or any getting in contact with any of these resources, they're all linked below. So I will see you next Sunday. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for having me.